Morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
No.
It's chucking
Happy
it
Friday.
down with snow here.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, it's just chucking it down here. So.
We don't have any snow in Birmingham.
Oh, it's so nice to have you, Edwin, on today. You're our special guest. We're very excited. So, Edwin Ladd from Mr. Ladd Media. And I've got the lovely Becky who's helping me look after the chat.
I'm your able assistant today, aren't I?
My assistant. So thank you for that. So hopefully we've got 30 minutes of some great insights into what you need to do with regards to your media, your photos, what you should be doing. I mean, we met Edwin back in the summer, didn't we, Becky?
Yeah, poor Edwin.
Oh.
If you knew what hit him
No,
when he
it was good. It was
17.
good. It's good to meet you girls.
He did an amazing photo shoot, socially distanced photo shoot, I may add, with the four of us, four giggly ladies who just were complaining, whinging, moaning about what's good, what was our best side, good side, what was how we should stand, how we shouldn't stand. So he was so patient and so lovely, I have to say. And
we got some great pictures out of it, though, didn't we?
We did.
So,
yeah.
Thank you, Edwin.
No.
Let's see who we've got on. So, morning, Elaine. My
Morning,
mum.
Elaine.
Morning, Elaine.
Oh, morning, Becky's mum.
Morning, Charlotte. Lovely to see you. Morning, Kate. Hope you're feeling a little bit better, love.
Kate.
Morning, Anna, as well. Really lovely to see you too. Pop in the comments any other questions you've got for Edwin. We like to put him on the spot. No, he's got plenty of things to talk about.
I'm sure he's got you've got loads of great tips and ideas for us this morning, Edwin, haven't you?
Yes, I have indeed. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, because I'm very curious and I am nosy by nature, really. What made you sort of be where you are today in terms of behind a camera? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I fell into photography by accident. My background is print and design and media, and about 5 or 6 years ago, I was doing print and design for like leaflets, flyers, business cards, all that stuff. It's all really, really boring. And then I saw those Instagram frames like that, and they're cut out and you put your head through.
Oh yeah.
So I jumped on the bandwagon at those, and I was making and producing a lot of those social frames, I'd call them. But what I needed was content for social media. So I bought a camera to take photos of my products, so I could put them on social media. And then I was doing a lot of frames for different events. So I thought to myself, let's go to these events and just take a few photos with the frame. So I've got content. So I did that, and I was doing that a lot. And then people started to book me for the frame and the photography. And I was like, look, I'm not a photographer, but because your photos are really good. And I was like, okay, then. And then afterwards, people started to not buy the frames and just book me for photography. And then I realized I was generating more money from the photography than I was from the frames. So then I bought better equipment. I trained myself how to use it all. I went on a few courses, and then I just picked it up from there, and I just went to loads of events, and that's what I'm known for in Birmingham, event photography.
Amazing. So it was almost you fell into something that you didn't really know that you were going to. No,
I really enjoy it.
And you must meet some very different characters along the way, don't you?
Aside well, I met all you four.
Selling savvy ladies, of course.
Yeah, now you do. You meet a lot of different people, and being at events as well, when events were happening, you just meet like 100, 200 people a night at these awards, these conferences, and it's just fantastic, really. And it's a great way to network and grow your connections and gain more work as well.
It's such a nice industry, I bet, as well, isn't it, to take pictures of? I mean, people I always say, who doesn't love the industry that makes people smile? Basically, that's their job, isn't it? So, well, even more so with you've got to make them smile to get photos. But so
you're never going to get, well, you might do, but I wouldn't imagine you get many grumpy people that don't want to put a smile on the minute you stand in front of them.
Yeah, you do get the odd people, but you just leave them to it. I'm not going to force someone to.
Fem says morning team extra, which obviously Edwin will get the in joke there. Thank you, Fem. And Kate has put excited for Edwin to settle Becky and my stock photo debate. So there you go.
There we are.
but I'll let you get on.
Yeah. So Edwin, I know we've got 30 minutes, but you've got lots of ideas and tips to give to us. I think we need to crack on, and obviously, as Becky said, if anyone's got any comments or any questions at all that they'd like to ask Ed, I'm sure he'll do his best to answer them. But I'm going to kick it off, if I may, Ed, with the ultimate question in terms of, why do we need photos?
Why do you need photos? Well, within a business, you need a bank of images or content to be able to talk about what you do, really. You can put like a post and text online, but if you've got an image attached to it, it's going to be more eye-catching. It's going to stand out. So that's why you need it, really.
Brilliant. And I know you mentioned about bank of images. One of my clients is a chef. Constantly, whenever he cooks any meals or dishes, he's there and he will literally take photos. And there's I'm sure when we're posting on social media, and I'm sure, Becky, you've been the same, where you've gone, oh, I wish we could have a nice afternoon tea shot. So I think you're absolutely right. To have that bank of photos really does mean that you can pick in and out, can't you?
Yeah. And you don't have to use them straight away. You can hold them on your phone or on your camera and then use them afterwards. But yeah, everything that you do within your business, you should be photographing it and documenting it. So you've got content.
Like you say,
I completely agree, Edwin. As you know, with my social media hat on, I always tell people to take pictures of their journey. So show their journey.
Yeah.
So if they're doing
even right now, we should do a print screen.
Yeah.
We should take a photo, take a selfie to show what we're doing.
Definitely.
That's normally Becky's bag. Becky loves doing all of that, so I'm going to leave Becky.
Well, I'm the social media whatever, aren't I? Whatever you want to call me.
Extraordinaire.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll take a photo. Have we got any anything that anyone wants to ask on the chat at all?
Not as yet. Don't worry. I'll keep you posted.
I have got a question, actually. Surprise, Ed. Sorry, again, me. Obviously, you've talked about photographs of the business journey, and I can understand that in terms of a business that has a physical building or has a product that you can actually take photos. What would you suggest in terms of those businesses that are of a service business as opposed to a physical business, where they don't have anything physical to actually take a photo of? What have you got? Any suggestions there?
Well, what you need to do is you need to think of your service, and you need to break down everything within that service, what you do, and then go into it further, and then think about, okay, now what picture would represent that talking point?
Oh, lost you slightly there, Edwin. He's frozen. Don't ask me and Amanda to talk about photos. Can you imagine Amanda and Becky's photography lesson?
Yeah. Well, the fact that I wouldn't even know how to. What do they call those big cameras? 3S, no, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
SLLs or something. I don't know. Oh no, we lost him.
Oh, Edwin.
Oh no.
Maybe if we could get him to go back off and come back on again, maybe.
If you can hear us, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. We're gonna have to Phil now, like Holly and Phil on This Morning.
Okay.
Oh,
so what
dear.
would you in answer? So I don't. Oh, it's come off.
Oh, hopefully it'll come back on again in a second.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because when we don't have something physical to take photos of, I think it's quite difficult to actually.
I think it was about to give us a really good bit of knowledge as well. Yeah. I think, well, you know me in my social media, I'm always like, oh no, let's get a photo of something. And instead of just like creating a post, I always say, well, let's get us holding this or doing that or showing this or thinking or something, don't I? And that's because I know we're not specifically talking about social media today, but that's because those things work better.
Yes, absolutely.
Than those sort of creative posts. So
lost it.
Bem said, if you can giggle like Holly and Phil, you'll make my day. And we need to be in our the night before close today.
I know.
When they went to that awards ceremony. But
I need Gino here. If Gino was here, I'd be giggling.
I'll be interested to see actually what Edwin does say if he comes back on about stock photos, because I think what basically Kate was saying is I have a bit of a bugbear about stock photos. I just don't like them being used on as many things as possible, because I don't think they're authentic, and I worry as well if it's like food or drink that people expect it to look like that when it doesn't, and sometimes think it looks a bit lazy, and other people use them, so you know you've got the same. So I'd be love to know what Edwin says. He'll probably completely disagree with me and I'll be shocked.
No, I doubt it. I think you're right. I think, and also if they're free stock images, you'll see the image, and I don't know about you, but I've seen it dotted all over.
That's what I mean. You'll see it on your competitors as well.
Yeah. And you're like, oh no, that's not good. But obviously we've got to be mindful that, you know, you've got to be if you can do your own, and even if it is on a mobile or whatever, then it's better than a stock, although I don't know. That's why we need Ed to say whether
I think when you've got, it is easy when you've got a physical product, and I'm quite lucky with a lot of the things that I work for. They have got physical products. So I work a lot, as you know, in hotels and events and restaurants and bars, and we're lucky because all those things as well people are interested in. They make nice pictures. I mean, they say a picture paints 1,000 words, don't they? Yay! We were trying to fill a bit, you know, AKA sort of Holly and Phil off this morning, but we tried.
Failing miserably, I think.
And I think you were about to make a really great point as well. Yes. So can you remember what you were saying?
Sorry about that. My connection just dropped.
Don't worry. Technology is amazing.
My phone now, so I'm hoping my phone connection's strong enough to support this.
Oh, well, don't worry.
I can't remember where I was now.
Right, so I asked about those
services
that were service orientated as opposed to business with buildings. And
so it's just about thinking about the service that you offer, breaking it down, and thinking about each one. So for instance, say if it's like legal would be one. Thinking about say if it's like family and HR, then take a picture of a family, or it doesn't have to be their faces, it could be like the back of the heads, someone in a park, people that you know, and you don't want to get into trouble there.
Randomly taking
and you can use that to represent like family law, and it's just thinking about what image would represent that bit of your business and service that you offer.
Brilliant. Yeah, so looking at the sector, and then also I suppose if you could also check what your competitors are doing and what pictures they're, you know, that's a good indication. Obviously if your competitors are successful, then that would be a good indication of
what you can do as well is look at stock images, and then replicate those, so you can search within a stock image website, find what they use to represent it, but then create your own.
Brilliant.
There you go, Kate. That's what we're going to do. Kate did put, bless her. Sorry, Kate. I didn't mean to say that you liked stock photos. She did put, I agree with stock photos, but I've found some that look real and just professional. Just about finding the right ones. But maybe that's what we could do. We could replicate stock photos. Kate.
Photos.
Yeah. We've got our own.
Yeah. And obviously, so we've decided, we've understood the need for the photographs. So now, what should people be thinking about prior to taking those photos? What sort of things do you think they need to?
So you need to think about where it's going to go, whether it's going to go online, offline, or in print, and then depending on that, you'll know kind of like what to take. You need to think about what platform it's going to go on. If it's going to go on Instagram, everything on Instagram tends to be square. If you're going to post, if it's going on the stories, then it's portrait. If you're putting things on Facebook and LinkedIn, that tends to be more landscape. And certain ones work for certain areas, but you've just got to think, if you're going to do stories, then just make sure it is portrait, because then that way you're going to get your message across better. Lighting's always key. Like as you can see now, I'm doing a video call now. It's got a great lighting, and it's just about making sure that you're well lit, so you can see your face, you can see what's going on in the background as well. So before I went on this call, I've got I normally hang coats on the back of my door. I just took them off my door.
I'm just like now going to try and hide my chest of drawers that you can see there.
If you're standing, when you're taking a photo outside or recording video, if there's a bin nearby, just don't stand near the bin. If there's people in the background doing stupid things, make sure you just angle yourself
Do you know
away from
what,
them.
Edwin? I
Things
get
like
pictures from people in restaurants taking an amazing picture of the kitchen, and then there's like either, you know, like the yellow warning sign or the bin or something in the
Fire
background. I'm like,
extinguishers
can
a
you
big
not
one
see
as well.
that?
Yeah, which can be
and then look at the angles as well that you're taking at. If you want to hide people's double chins, take it from above. And then the framing as well of what you're doing, make sure the subject's in the middle of the frame. There's enough space on each side. And then social distancing at the moment, you've always got to consider that. If you're going to post anything on social media for your business, then I would make sure that's, because otherwise the social media police will be on your case.
Have you done any social distancing shoots for events venues at all, Edwin? You know, like, because we're always saying it's a great idea to show pictures of your venue when it's sort of spaced out, socially distanced. Have you done any of those?
So I done some for one of the shopping centres in Birmingham, in the Solihull area, Touchwood. So when they incorporated all their social distance signage, I went in and photographed that, and then they used that to talk about what they've implemented, how they're going to keep the public safe. But a great one was when we were at Park Regis, and they put those secure stickers on the doors to say that no one else has been into that room once it's been cleaned, and something like that's great as well. For talking about things like that. But and then all the shields, hand sanitizer, face masks. You want to capture all that, tell the story behind that, talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about ensuring that your future clients feel comfortable, don't they, when they visit or whatever. So doing anything like that would really help. Would really help. I was going to, funny you said about taking a photograph in straight on. I came across a client who decided to take photos all on the slant, every single image on the slant, and I just don't. I was like, I was trying to think, is she being quite creative in it? But obviously that's not the way to do it. Then
you can get creative by doing that, but not every photo should be like that. I think products wise, you can do some really creative stuff that way, but with people, try and get them straight, because when you then use them within, especially for print, that's when you'll have the problem, because you'll have all your text and then you've got a slanted image, which doesn't look right.
Doesn't work. No.
We've got a couple of comments. Kate said that's a great idea. I think she means about replicating the stock photos. You do know though, now I'm going to be walking around trying to find stock photos, and we'll have to like make replications of them all. You'll be like, no, Becky, I don't think she meant like that. Also, Kate has said, also you have the background blurred out, Edwin. Looks amazing. Fem says, how do you do that? I don't mean on a picture, I mean on your Zoom now.
So I will show you. So this is my regular web camera.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Right. Okay.
And then this is my camera that I normally use when I'm out photographing and shooting.
Amazing.
Oh, that's very good.
And if anyone's got a digital camera at home, they can connect it to their laptop for Zoom. All they need is a video capture card, and they're only around about £20 off Amazon. And then you can have a nice, if you've got like a lens which blurs out the background, then you can have a nice setup like this.
That's amazing. I love it. It just looks so professional. Not that you look bad before, but the difference.
Well, one of the things I thought if I'm going to do a lot of Zooms now that we're in lockdown, I want to have a really good setup. So I just made sure I worked out how to do it, and then I did that. And it does get noticed everywhere I go on all the Zoom calls. They're like, oh, you've got an amazing setup there.
I feel like we need to be like that now, Amanda.
Do something now.
I'm feeling a bit.
Well, Amanda's got a great background. I do like Amanda's background.
She has. Mine's shocking. I know.
And she's on point as well with the branding, with the colours.
Always on.
We've not got this wearing the same things today. We popped on a Zoom call yesterday. We were both wearing a pink scarf wrapped around and we've not even talked about it.
We can find that. Another. Have you got anything else? Sorry, Becky.
Fem's just said, OMG, that is amazing. I just know that is the sort of thing that Fem will absolutely
would love that. Yeah. So obviously, in terms of professional photography and capturing your own content with your own phone, when would you suggest you need to do either or? in terms of content. I know at the time things are a bit tough at the minute in terms of people spending money, and you know, it'd be interesting to your thoughts in terms of when we should have a professional photographer, when we can do our own.
Well, I think a lot of it can be done on your phone, and you can shoot it yourself. If you're going to print anything, then I would suggest to use professional photos, especially for like things like brochures, presentations, newsletters as well. Try and keep those images professional. If you're going to post anything on social media, then you can shoot it on your phone. That's perfectly fine, because I think that's what people expect. They don't want to see something too refined. But what you will notice, if you do put out really good professional content on social media, you will find that you will get a bit more traction, because people think, oh wow, what's this? It's a bit different. So there's times to consider it, but I wouldn't say you need professional photos and video all the time.
No,
I'd say as long as you've got content, that's the most important thing.
I find, Edwin, with my social media hat on, that if something looks too staged, it doesn't do as well as a natural photo, because I think Facebook, for example, picks it up as being sort of spammy rather than sort of real. But obviously there's ways that, like, obviously a lot of your photos you did for us all looked nice and natural. You know, you got us kind of smiling and laughing and everything in a natural way, didn't you? So
and it's not too it's not wrong now to use stuff that's not professional, because if you looked at some of the big companies this year, I think Virgin or Sky, and some of the banks as well, they've been using videos sent in by their employees, and then put them all together to create video to give that sense of it's more real.
It's real.
Because some of these big companies, all they do is put out professional content, and sometimes you want to see the person behind it all, and the employees and what they're going through. So when you capture it on your phone, you can get that message across then.
That's great. That's a great way of putting it. So a good mix then, but knowing when to do it at the right time for the right things.
Yeah, and when we are taking our own photographs, and obviously we download them and possibly use tools to enhance them. I'm just thinking of Canva really as one of them. Is there any other tools out there that you would recommend to use, or you know, that doesn't cost the earth, but obviously we can enhance and make our own photos look a little bit better?
Well, there are a lot of apps now that can really enhance your pictures, especially like I have some people use them, and you can like change your eyes, get rid of your shadows, smoothen out your skin. I don't know the names of them, because the ones that I use are the professional ones.
Are they?
So I'll use things like Photoshop, Lightroom, Luminar 4.
We like the sound of those, though, don't we, Amanda? I do.
But there are apps that you can download. But the only thing with that is I wouldn't use them too much, because I think this is another thing that's happening as well. People are then afraid to post because they're not perfect, and it shouldn't be perfect. And there's a lot of young people now, they get anxiety and things like that of what they look like, and it shouldn't be like that. So I'd try and stay away from it, because it's not real.
I think that's a really good point.
Better angle is better.
Yeah, really good point. I think I use something called Quick sometimes. I don't know if you've heard of that one. But I wouldn't sort of do it as much as I'd love to kind of make myself look lots better, smoother skin, brighter eyes. I tend to just use it if it's a bad photo and I need to change the filter or lighting or something on it. But
I've got a friend, and she really analyzes her photos, and I say to herself, no one's going to look at that photo that long. She'll be like, oh, my hair's out of place, and I'm like, no one cares.
We are our own worst critics, though, aren't we? And I hate even seeing myself on Zoom. You know, when we're talking now, I think it's
like I was combing my beard before we started.
Yes, you were. I love that.
Well, you know, you've come out with some great tips and points. Certainly, I've come away with lots of different ideas. So it's really interesting, particularly knowing when to take photos and having a bank of photos. I think that's really important. And I suppose at any opportunity, just take a photo, and not be shy. What's your thoughts on, obviously we've got really good phone cameras on our phones these days, but in terms of actually getting, myself and Becky were trying to work out what you call, what's that camera with it? Is it that you with the lens?
DSLR.
That's it, Amanda. We had the wrong initials. Yeah.
Completely wrong.
DSLR.
SLR, that's it. So is that a recommendation, or do you think just the cameras on your phone are perfectly acceptable? You know,
I think if you want to get into photography and take it a bit more seriously, then get a camera, photograph everything in automatic, and then look at the settings, and then replicate that in manual, and then you'll learn how that photo was taken. Okay. That's the easiest way to learn, but take your camera with you everywhere.
Right.
Take pictures of everything.
Obviously asking permission if it's people.
Yeah.
Are there any recommendations at all? I know you've given us some already in terms of like lighting and this, that, and the other. Are there any other recommendations for taking pictures on our phone, like things that we should have turned on, off, do this, that, and the other?
I think if you're going to take pictures of individuals or maybe two people, use the portrait mode on your phone, and then you'll have the nice blurred backgrounds. And then anything else, if it's group shots, use it in normal, don't use it in the portrait mode.
Okay.
Because it's not going to pick everyone up, because it works it all out on distance of where people are, and then some people will be blurred, some people won't. So just know when to use portrait mode, when to use normal mode. But there are a lot of really good settings on your phone. Night mode is fantastic for photos at night, if you can hold your camera still enough. And if you can get a little tripod for your camera, that's always good as well. It make it easy to take landscape shots, or put it on self timer and take photos.
Great. I've got one of these little ones here.
Yeah, no, they're perfect. They're really good.
I tend to use them if I'm doing a video with a little sort of clicker.
Yes. And then have a light just behind it, so then you've got good lighting.
Okay. What do you think to those ring lights when you're doing things like that? Would that be something that you'd recommend?
I think they're perfect. Yeah, I think they're really, really good. Okay. I'd get one of those. Spend a bit more money though, and get one that's a bit sturdy, because a lot of them are really cheap, and they're not very stable. You spend a bit more money, say over £20, you will get something that's very sturdy.
Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Great. Have we got any more questions, or?
We don't. I don't think at the moment. I think Fem is just overawed by your background, basically.
Thanks.
Just can't get over it. So do you want to share any details with us, Edwin, or anything of how we could get in touch with you, or anything that you like to you're working on at the moment, or anything?
Yeah, I'm a big user on LinkedIn, so if you can find me over at LinkedIn, Edwin Ladd, just search for that. I think it's Edwin Ladd Elite Event Photographer, something like that. That's my username. And then on Instagram, it's Mr. Ladd Media, and you can find me on socials. But yeah, LinkedIn's the one that I mainly use. I tend to get connect with a lot of people on there. I think that's the best platform, really.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Oh, Amanda's taking a picture.
See?
Sorry, go on.
You should be taking a photo now. I just did it earlier. Take a photo of this, and then this would be great to put on stories. Say, this morning had this, and this.
Yeah.
And then if you're listening at home, again, take a picture of this screen. Just put it out on stories. It'll only be there for 24 hours.
Yeah.
But it's content at the end of the day.
It's good content ideas, isn't it? I've done a screenshot because I daren't come off my Facebook page because I'm doing stuff on it and I don't want to lose it. So that's my excuse. So I'll just jump on Amanda's and your pictures that you've done.
Brilliant.
And as well, you don't have to always use the apps inside, like Instagram video. You can record the video on your camera, on your phone, and then post it later on Instagram or any platforms. You don't need to use those apps to record the content in.
Okay, so that's another tip. Yeah,
if that makes sense, if you know what I'm talking
it does
about.
make sense. Yeah, it does make sense totally. So I think brilliant. We're going to talk about just very quickly about our challenge we've got next week.
We do have a challenge starting on Monday, don't we? So Game On Challenge, Monday, which is the 7th, through to Friday. And it's literally an hour each day, and it's talking about getting yourself strategy ready for 2021, your sales strategy. So we're all on next week, aren't we, doing our little bit in terms of helping everybody.
Yeah.
So I think we've
4 for the price of 1.
4 for the price of 1. Yeah, absolutely. So, and I believe Ed, you're joining us next week, aren't you?
Yeah, I've booked on. Yeah,
brilliant.
I'm there. I'm looking forward to it.
Good news.
Excellent.
That's what
we like to having you there. So we go live every day in our Facebook group. Obviously, if you can't make the time, which I think is 10 o'clock, you can.
I was on the last one when we did the LinkedIn challenge, and that was fantastic. My reach and my connections on LinkedIn went up quite a lot, and I learned a lot of amazing stuff.
Oh, thanks, Ed. We didn't even pay him to say that.
No.
We didn't even ask him.
If you would like to write a little testimonial, then we can
listen. Yeah, what she's on it now.
On social media platforms and get the content out with a picture of yourself.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Well done, Amanda. Well done. I've just popped the link into the comments if anybody wants to book on.
Who was interested. So.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much, Edwin. I'm sorry I hijacked it.
That's great.
Oh no, I need my assistant, my lovely assistant, to help with chats and questions. So thank you. And Ed, it's as always, you're a great advocate of Selling Savvy. We really appreciate everything that you've done for us and constantly doing for us in terms of promoting us. So
and we're a big fan of yours as well. So we will shout about your talents from the rooftops.
Absolutely.
That's great. Thank you.
Nice
it's
to
great
see
to work with you guys.
Happy Friday, everybody, and have a lovely weekend. Take care.
Bye. See you. Thanks, Edwin.
See you guys. Bye.